everyone, my name is Anthony Cummins. Welcome to this video. I'm a historical researcher and author, and today I've got a little bit of a complicated video. It's not massively complicated, but it's a little bit long-winded, so stick with me if you can, or if you want to more, I should say. Recently I was asked, Anthony, you've been talking a lot about shinobi that are samurai. So what about those who are not samurai? Because often I say not all shinobi are samurai. And the person who asked this question, I know you're watching, you're totally right, Now the reason I avoid this topic is because it's really complicated in the sense of how you arrive at who is a ninja and who is not a ninja. So, as I say guys, get yourselves a cup of tea, get yourselves a butty, pause it here, then come back, sit down, let's crack on with it. So, first of all, what we have to do is decide together what is a ninja and what is ninjutsu. So let's go more correct. What is shinobi no mono and what is shinobi no jutsu? Alright? That's when you can discuss. Now the reason it's easy to do a samurai one is because the people who were samurai who were performing shinobi no jutsu for their lord as shinobi no mono are 100% ninja. You can't counter that one. That's what they're registered as doing, that's what they're logged as doing, that's what they do. So it's very easy for me to talk about samurai shinobi. It's actually quite difficult for me to talk about the non-samurai shinobi. Okay, let's discuss first, what is a ninja? Probably, in your head, one of the easiest questions to answer, but since I've been doing this research, it's become one of the most difficult questions to answer. Because Isui Sensei tells us, he says ninjutsu is like a void. It has no shape, it has no boundaries, it's forever changing, and it sort of mutates and moves, if you will. That's my interpretation of it. And he's right. So it makes it really difficult to decide what is a ninja. Yeah, what is a ninja? So let's go with it. Right. The word shinobi no mono comes from the kanji shinobi, okay? Now, or shinobu. Now the problem you've got here is this means perseverance, or it means patience, or it means also, its secondary meaning is in stealth, in secret. And it's heavily associated with a kanji called kannin, which means, again, it's a more religious or more Buddhist term of perseverance, if you will. It's got different connotations. So the kanji kannin is often spoke of in ninja manuals. And then often they speak about shinobi or shinobu, which again means to enter or means to persevere. So a shinobi no mono is a person who is persevering or is moving in stealth. So technically, if you want to take it from a literal translation, which literal translations just do not work, not all the time anyway, it means somebody of endurance. So that could be anyone. So from the literal translation, it means anyone who's enduring is a shinobi no mono. And we know that's not true. It isn't its literal translation, it's its cultural connotation that is attached to it. So the cultural connotation is somebody who hides their hides their intention, somebody who deceives, somebody who infiltrates. And when you look at the different kanji in all the different manuals, you find, or I have found, that shinobi no mono often literally means someone hired within a military army, within a military complex, to perform clandestine operations. However, the term shinobi is also got a secondary use with its cultural connotations, and that secondary use is somebody who infiltrates, just in general, i.e. a thief. Yeah? So somebody shinobi iru. Now this is where it gets more complicated, because the ninja themselves always say, we are not thieves, we are different. Like they say, we're not yato, we are yato, which have the same sound, but one of them means thief in the night and the other one means leader in the night, i.e. you lead a squad through the bushes. And of course all the shinobi say we're not, even though we practice the arts of the thief. Now you can actually find quotes of the ninja saying, we practice the arts of the thief, but we do not thieve. So technically you could say, is ninjutsu more connected to thieves than to ninja? That is actually an argument you could do. And as I've said in a previous video, you can actually, there is a quote I have unpublished yet, where it says thieves are better than shinobi at ninjutsu. Yeah? So actually thieves are better and you should learn from them, because they deceive people all the time. So, I know it's going around, guys, I'll get there, I promise you. So basically, you've got to establish what is a ninja. Now, most of the documents I have studied have been military documents. So, I have obviously got a sway from a military side, but I've yet to find, and off the top of my head, I can't remember ever coming across a civilian document that talks about Shinobi no Mono as a thief. I've seen Shinobi, I've seen Shinobi Iru, I've possibly seen Shinobi Hito, a person who comes in stealth. I've seen Tozoku, I've seen all of these things, Nusubito, but I've never seen Shinobi no Mono as somebody who creeps into your house to steal, who's just a petty thief. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, it just means I have not come across it. I'm sure we could probably find one. But what it leads me to is that most of the records that say Shinobi no Mono pretty much are always about a military position, yeah? Even though it closely crosses over with thieves, okay? So you have to say to yourself, what is a Shinobi no Mono? And when you take as many documents as you can, it bang appears that it's military. So you're thinking, where am I going with this, Anthony? Well, you know, you've done this before. But yes, but there's the key. So here we get to the question, what about the people what about the shinobi who are not samurai, Anthony? Well, the problem is this, is once you're hired by a lord, you become his retainer. So, let's go through the caste system. So the caste system that existed in Japan for quite a long time is samurai, farmer, artisan, merchant. Merchants are the lowest because they handle with money, blah, blah, blah. But farmers feed the country, so they come under samurai. They're not low. When you get this idea of the peasants with no teeth and, you know, one eye hanging out and like, you know, arr, or somebody asked, is my accent a pirate accent? No, pirate accents are based on like Cornish accents. Arr, I be buying cider and I be a ninja. You know, so guys who asked if that's a pirate accent, no, it's Cornish, but all Cornish people are pirates, just by definition. So yes, it is. So basically, you've got this idea that these farmers are actually, when you think of a farmer, you're thinking of the wrong thing, of the guy toiling in the dirt. If a farmer, I live in the countryside, there's tons of farmers and they are wadded with cash. They drive 4x4s, they've got herds of sheep. The same in Japan. You had families that owned massive plots, massive acres of land. They are farmers. Yes, they have farmhands and lower people, but the idea of a farmer being one single category of people with a hoe on his shoulder is just Disney's fairy. That's not true. Farmers can be really quite high ranking, and merchants can be rich but not high ranking because they're the lowest. But there can be quids in because, you know, same as, you know, you've got somebody who's just, you know, the gold tooth guy with the dicky bow and the shiny shirt and like, hey, come to Barry's workshop and get your toothbrush fixed, you know, that type of thing. He might be wadded, but you look at him and think not very sophisticated, but I bet he's got more cash than most upper class people. Yeah, so that's the thing you've got to look at when you look at this high social hierarchy. So what you've got here is two problems. You can go, so what we do find in the documents is Shinobi no Ashigaru or Ashigaru no Shinobi. Sometimes you find them different ways round. Oh, sorry. Sometimes you find them different ways round. Now, so what you do get is Shinobi Ashigaru or Ashigaru no Shinobi. I've seen them in different ways, but basically you've got this idea of Ashigaru. Now Ashigaru is a foot soldier. Now this is one of the major problems when it comes to actually placing them in the caste system. Where do they go? Because you get two types of Ashigaru. Seriously, you get two types of Ashigaru in a broad sense. You get semi-professional Ashigaru and then you get professional Ashigaru. And the semi-professional Ashigaru can be someone who's just called up for service and he does 6 to 8 weeks in the summer of fighting or spring or whenever they did it. And then he'll go back to his farm and harvest in, you know, the autumn time or late spring or late summer. So he every year may do some fighting somewhere. Now, remember, don't get in your head that this idea of a bumpkin again walking around, hey, what do I do with this spear? You know, that's just not, if this guy has been to, imagine being, like in England we do the territorial army. This is like, they're called weekend warriors, which is a horrible term, because these guys go on full training courses, they go and do all the training that the army do, they just do it over a longer period of time, so they're absolutely fully trained, and some of them perform in Afghanistan, Iraq, they've been all over the world as territorial armies. So their week job might be a banker or working a butcher, but then for a certain amount of weeks of the year, they go into war zones. Now that doesn't make them crap, that makes them superb. It doesn't make them probably as good as full ranking, fully professional, somebody who goes to war all the time, but that doesn't make them bad. So you've got here Ashigaru who go into war zones and perform in war. You've also, that doesn't make them amazing, but it doesn't make them stupid, it makes them experienced, and each one would be different. Maybe one is a coward, maybe one is a psychopath murdering everyone, but the point is that they have experience. The second type of Ashigaru, now this is the complicated one, is actually someone who's a professional. I have been to a compound in Japan that actually was a barracks for Ashigaru, for full-time Ashigaru. That was their number one job. Their job for their entire life was the study and application of warfare, exactly like the samurai, but their class is lower. But I've asked this, and I'm not joking, you'll get people who've got an opinion, right? But my stance is, I've always said this, is I just don't know. I'm restarting my journey in the samurai and the ninja, and I'm finding out what is the truth. And you ask somebody, is an Ashigaru a farmer or a samurai in the caste system? And they say, oh, a farmer. And you ask another person, I'm talking about Japan, and I'm talking about educating, I'm talking about university people, is an Ashigaru a farmer or a samurai? And they say, oh, they're in the samurai class. Then you ask somebody else and they're like, they've got 1 foot in samurai and 1 foot in farmer. So the answer is, we just don't know where the Ashigaru were. Were they farmers or were they samurai? So we have this idea that, so now, back to the question. I told you it's getting complicated, guys. Back to the question is, what about the shinobi who are not samurai? Well, most of them are going to be Ashigaru. So the question is, are Ashigaru samurai? It's unknown. It just is unknown. So if your opinion is yes, they are samurai, because remember, this is what is you got to get in your minds, guys. At the bottom of the system is the outcasts. Yeah, the outcasts, the people, the heta, the hinin. They're horrible words, by the way. You shouldn't say them. But that's what they were called. And up until the 1920s, 1930s, they were outcasts. You didn't talk to them. You didn't marry them. You shooed them along. They did menial tasks. They weren't even in the 4-tier caste system, right? They were humans who were subhuman. So, and the manuals say do not deal with these people. So then you've got merchants who, you know, he's selling you something in the army on the way. Yeah, okay, get rid of him. Then you've got artisans. You're like, oh wow, look at that craftsman making a plate. How beautiful is that? Then you've got a lower end farmer. Then you've got the top-end farmer who owns Range Rovers and sheep, and he's got a shotgun, you know, obviously not in ancient Japan, but the equivalent of an acres of land. Then, at the very top of that, you've got the Ashigaru, who sort of balance between Shinobi and Ashigaru, and you're like, where do they fit in? So between samurai and farmer. So Ashigaru between samurai and farmer, where do they fit in? So the question comes now is, the Shinobi who are not samurai fall into the Ashigaru class, which pretty much are still pretty high on the social system. They may not be rich, they might be a little bit uneducated, but the point is that they go to war, and in a feudal system where warrior castes are at the top, that is a prestigious position to still go to war, you know, and be a professional guy. So all the way that down to the guy who's just given a spear 3 weeks a year and he goes to fight, you know, and he's still experienced. So, but then there's another set, and this is, so when you say, you've got another thing you've got to get out of your mind, is that samurai are these, you know, in the wind, there's like, you know, little bit of grass and look how cool I am. Actually, some samurai were horrible bandits. So you get this term here, I'll put it up here, and it basically means bandit samurai, if you will. And these are people who hang around in the mountains, they hang around and ambush people, but they're still samurai, and we know they're samurai. And then you get tozoku, gangs of thieves. No, there is someone called Kazama, and he's from, he's mentioned in the Shoninki, but he's actually, nobody knows if he's legend or real. I've not really gone into the study of it yet, but basically the point is they went and got thieves and gave them land rewards. So the minute you give someone land and koku, are they samurai? So even the thieves who are hired as ninja and given land, do they become samurai? So even the non-samurai shinobi, are they samurai shinobi? So also, Isui Sensei says that in the next book that's coming out, which we're still doing at the minute, he says there are different advantages to hiring thieves and not hiring thieves. And there are advantages for, you know, bringing them on and not bringing them on, or how you have to deal with them. But the point is that a lot of these people who are bandits, the samurai will go into the bandit country and say, we're going to war, we will hire you for this amount of gold, and you will then come with us and act as shinobi. So they're also shinobi. So, right guys, to basically round up, here's the issue. So you've got 100%, you've got samurai shinobi. They are blanket clear. We all know what they are. Samurai, hired as shinobi, they do their job. You can't be any easier than that. That is what you're thinking of, ninjas. Right. The other ones gets more complicated because it's like, they are not samurai. Once they're brought in and given a stipend, you're like, are they now samurai? Because in the Sengoku period, the caste system was not set. It wasn't set in stone. You could get people who leave it and go back in and shift around and move. And there was free movement in the caste system to a certain level. So you might have someone who's a samurai for a few years, but then he buys a plot of land with his earnings or whatever. He's finished going off doing his stuff, and he becomes a farmer and he opens a farm or whatever. You know, or he then becomes there are stories of samurai who just leave and become, you know, merchants and deal with like commerce. But I'm not saying that is the norm, but that is within the framework. So you've got this idea that there's a fluid social caste and a fluid what's the word I'm looking for? Employment system. So you might have someone who's grown up as a farmer, goes to fight, becomes pretty hard, becomes a full-time ashigaru, he's there fighting full-time, and then he's promoted to samurai. He's actually really good at shinobi no jutsu because he got talking to some of the igamono or whatever, and he swore the blood oath, and they realised this guy is pretty hot, let's use him. And he's fully trained shinobi. He gets the age of 35 and he's like, it's like he's 35, he's promoted to samurai, he's got given land, he now has, say, 4 servants and some land and looks after one farmstead, and then retires as samurai and has that farm, and then still has to pay, you know, they don't pay taxes so much, but they still give their military service, and maybe he's got a son who goes to military service for him. So the idea is in the Sengoku period it's much more fluid, and he might have only been a shinobi for 3 or 4 years. It's the same as someone today going in the army, becoming special forces, and then coming out of the army and doing something else. Yeah? That's what it was like in the Sengoku period. You could move through, but at the other time, that guy could have stayed in the army, become a specialist, become an advisor, become this, become that, become a teacher, and then stayed until his retirement, and he was just samurai all the way through his life. So I hope that answers your question out there, is what about the shinobi who are not samurai? Well, the big problem is who are the shinobi who are not samurai? They're there, but they're ghosts in the history. They're ghosts in the record because most of the documents are written by samurai. Most of the things we have recorded are samurai. So I've always said there's an unknown amount of ashigaru shinobi. We just don't know because they're not. Nobody cares. They're not recorded. Occasionally, you get the idea of pick up thieves, use them as shinobi. So it could be 90% non-samurai. We don't know because nobody recorded it. But what we do know is the samurai recorded about them and said, yeah, they're also here, but you know, thieves we hate them. But they're used as shinobi. Sorry about the long video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's a little bit complicated, but I hope you came away understanding. So we get a very clear image at the top, and it just blends off into the records are just not clear on it, so we don't really know. But because of like secondary or third level investigation, we can see it's there, but we just can't put a boundary on it. So if you want to carry on and you want to carry on with me, subscribe here. I'm also on Instagram. You can follow me there on both channels. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down below what you think, what are your ideas, and I'll read them when I can.